Hello, and please excuse my tardiness, but technology did not want to work in my favor. So, welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. It's episode 6, and I won't delay. Hopefully you guys can see me. You can jump on in. I'm going to go ahead and share it to my timeline. I tell you, technology was just really working against me this evening. Just got a lot going on right now. So just hoping that, hey Lisa, welcome. I'm glad you guys can see me because I have no clue what's going on right now with my computer, with my phone, with nothing. I can't share anything. So Lisa, maybe you can go to my page on the Unfiltered Truth and share it to my timeline. If you could share it to a friend's timeline, which is mine, then that'd be great. So thank you guys. And the subject tonight is really funny because I had another subject that I was going to do, but you know, we're all caught up in the kingdom of Wakanda. And so I'm going to hold off for the episode I was going to do tonight for next week's episode. And this week, I'm actually going to talk about when you are weak, I am strong. And it's the strength of a woman. It reminds me of Mary J. Blige's CD she did after her divorce when, you know, like the strength of a woman. And so everyone is in an uproar about Black Panther, right? And it's all about the strength of the women that we see in the movie, Okoye, and all, you know, she was the ruler and all these things that we see, and you have mixed feelings on it. What is the strength of a woman? You know, and we have these, what roles do we play in our men's, you know, in a man's life? And so we want to make sure, you know, that we are not taking any of this out of context, right? So I'm going to kind of break it down from my point of view. I'm sure there are several. That's why we all have opinions. We share them and we respect them. So at any rate, the strength of a woman. You know, if we think about biblically, then we were taking out the rib, you know, of the man, right? So Eve was taking out the rib of Adam, but he lost something. But we also know that whenever God takes something from us, he replaces it. So the loss that Adam endured, then Eve was the replacement, right? So she was not meant to be ruler over him. She was not to be trampled under his feet, but by his side, she was supposed to be a helpmeet, correct? And so that's the strength I got from Black Panther. I got the strength of the women and how they weren't rulers, but also the men weren't intimidated by their strength in no way. They were not intimidated at all. Lisa, were you able to share the video? So at any rate, none of the women were, you know, the men weren't intimidated by the women. The women were able to display who they were in a strong way. And really, they did not step up. You know, they always were there to be the strength, and we're the helpmeet. So it's one of those things where if he is weak, then we step up to the plate, right? So that means that if we got a man and we know he going through some things, what do you have to bring to the table? Are you just, you know, you hear a lot of people say, I want somebody, and yes, he should be the provider. But if in the, you know, case that he can't provide, are you coming to the table empty-handed? Are you eating from an empty plate? Do you not have all your ducks in a row? So as we saw Okoye, as we saw all of these people, all of these women coming, you know, strong. We saw Lapita, you know, we saw all these women able to come out, and they were able to step up and say, hey, the king is having some problems. So, you know, they were like some bad-a's, right? They stepped up. They didn't play no games. And the men were okay with it because they knew that they came there to help them. And I think that's why we're all like packing our bags like, I'm going to Wakanda. When's the next flight? So we want to make sure as women that we still have our strength, we have our identity, we have our individuality, and that we don't come just looking for a provider without having something to bring to the table. I heard a gentleman say that men who are not willing to provide will say, what do you have? He's not asking you to come and be a roommate and go half with him. He's saying, if I'm weak, they look for your strengths as well. They look for, we all have these characteristics that we look for when it comes to a relationship, but we're never honest about it. We lie about things that we're looking for. And then once we get in the relationship, now we're saying that this person is no longer providing what they said they were going to bring. That's because we do not ask the correct questions. We don't ask up front anything about, how's your credit? How's your finances? These are things we need to, because then that means that really will identify if you can be a helpmeet, right? So if I think about these women in the Kingdom of Wakanda, how they stepped up, they played no games, and they were like unapologetic in their strength. When I think about just them being naked in their raw just strength and coming for you and being able to step up and protect their man, and the man saying, oh, that was sexy to them. That was a come on to them. It wasn't, they didn't feel like they were being, overpowered. Sometimes we take the submission thing out of context. We think for some reason that if we're submitting to a man, that now we are supposed to bow down to him. I will say biblically, no, we're not supposed to rule over them. And they're not really there to rule over you. They're there to protect you. And when they fall, weak or anything, then that means we step up to the plate and we help protect them. So it's give and take. There's some harmony there. There's some balance there. And there's a reason why there's an order. Because if I'm going to tell you, as a woman, if I know that I am okay with being strong and you just always weak and you came to the plate weak, then how am I supposed to even respect that? I want to know that you have the strength, but that I got you. Like what? You need that? Okay. Because we already know where they came from. That's why when you are weak, I am definitely strong. I'm making sure. That's why sometimes we jump in too fast, because we're not even prepared to be somebody's helpmeet. We're not prepared to be his helpmeet. All we want to do is get somebody, have them be a protector, have them take care of us in every sense. But we come with nothing. We come empty. We come with nothing to the table. So I want to make sure that before I get ready, maybe you've not been the rib of a man, or you've not been provided, that duty as a wife, because you're not ready. You're not displaying that. All you're saying is take. I want some harmony. I want some balance. I don't want resentment. I don't want us to be at each other's throats all the time. I want to make sure it's not like it's going to always be on point, but if you come at least halfway ready. You ain't got to be all the way there, because people really step up to the plate for people who they know are helping themselves. So if I see you as a man and you on point, you fear God, you got your stuff in a row, then that means that as long as you got it together, thanks, Lisa, then I know that means that I'm stepping up to the plate. I got it together. And if I'm not ready, I need to get somewhere and sit down and get myself together. So when you're weak, I'm strong. That's once we're in the relationship. Don't start off all fragile and shaky, and now all of a sudden you expecting for this to turn around. Marriage does not change anything. And I'm not married, but I hear so many people say that. And I've watched it enough. People teach me how to be a better woman, by things that they do or do not do. And so I want to make sure that I have my ducks in a row. Sometimes I have to say to myself, are you really ready to get into that? Are you able, if this person, because we think about, if we, what is it? Kanye says, I ain't looking for a gold digger, but I don't want no broke, so we want to make sure. But we're not real about that. We're not real about exactly what it is that we want. So if I know that I'm the rib, if I know that I am there to be your helpmeet, if I am there to pick up the slack if something happens, what if you get hurt in your job? What if something happens? Am I just going to leave you? No, I'm going to make sure that I have it together. I remember my parents growing up. My mom didn't work. My dad didn't want my mom to work. But my mother was one of the people, she was a hustler. She had her own business. She had a candy store. She would do all kind of stuff. But what was weird is my mother would roll all her money up. She'd have money stashed everywhere. So if anything ever happened, if my dad ever said, oh, I need to do this, or we got to go to the bank, she's like, no, you don't, because go over there and check in that corner. I got a $50 bill over there. When he was weak, she was his strength. I saw them become one. And so it's all about knowing when you need to step up to the plate and always being ready. You know, like, it's like you got to start your starting team on the basketball team, the Warriors. If Steph Curry can't play and he get hurt, he gonna need somebody to back him up, right? So that means that if my man get hurt, my husband get hurt, that means I need to be able to step up to the plate and say, I got you. You know, what you say, what we doing? You know, but they don't even come looking for that. A man that fears God, a man that got his ducks in a row, he not coming saying, you know, what you got, what you doing? You got half on it? No, they are not coming to you like that. But we're not honest about that. But we have so many people saying, this not the old days. It's not the old days. And that's why we work together, and there is no blueprint, there is no cookie cutter for a relationship, but definitely we got to step up and make sure that we're strong, because you have, you know, so many, you know, people that are, I'll say they're weak-minded, or that we feel some kind of way about certain things, that the roles that we play in a relationship. See, now I really don't mind. I think, you know, stepping up to the plate. I think we interpret things on our own in the way that we want things to work for us. But as a woman, we really should, you know, be okay with being strong. And I need a man that is not threatened by my strength. But another thing I want to say to the ladies, do not come with a masculine mentality. What do I mean by that? I make 6 figures, so you can't tell me nothing. I do this, so you can't say anything to me. I have the same amount of education you do, so you bow down to me. That is not how it works. It's a turnoff. Just because you make more money, you know, and you got to think about, I want to be strong, but there are things that as a woman, I don't want to do. I don't want to do. So when we say, when you are weak, I am strong, we switch those roles, because when she's down and she's not up, you know, we made those roles of she gets up and cooks, she gets up and do that. I know men that love to cook, that love to do that. And so we define those roles for ourselves, and we make our household work. We can't go by somebody saying, oh my God, you cook for your wife, or yeah, absolutely. Oh, you went and did that for your husband? Absolutely. But it's some things that I want to remain feminine in. That I, you know, if call me weak all you want to, but I don't want to be jacking up a car, changing a tire. I don't want to change oil. I like when you open up my door. I like when you walk on the outside of me. I like when you protect my heart, my spirit. I like that your character is intact when I'm not even around. And I like that you love me enough that I never have to worry about any of the outside. So I'm always going to step up. I'm always going to have you. And I know you always going to have me. That's why you ask the tough questions, so that we balance one another out in our weakness, in our strong. That's why you come with 100%. I come with 100%. See, when you come half, you just come half cocked, then you're always going to be looking to catch up, play catch up. I don't want to play catch up. I want to make sure that we are balanced, but that you are the strength. You are the, you like the tough guy. You got the muscles in it. And then when I need to step up, I'm Okoye. I'm like, what? I'm sliding down the street in my red dress, like Okoye was. Like, what? I got you. And so when we think about it, and sometimes our strength, it comes even when you're strong and you look to us for nurturing, then we can step up and help you. I really don't hate to keep referring to Black Panther, because that's what this all came about. When I think about Okoye and her husband, who was going against King T'Challa, and he said, are you really gonna go against me? And she said, for Wakanda, yes. And in that moment, he thought, I need to side with my wife. We're one unit, and we need to fight this together. We are not allies. We are one. So we have to make sure that we build each other up. And sometimes she will be the strong one. Sometimes you will be the strong one. But don't let it be defined by what everybody is telling you need to do. Yes, I do follow biblical senses when it comes to him leading me. And I always say, but you're not going to lead me to hell. I need to know that you're leading me and you're being led by God. You're being led by something. And so that you know that you're not threatened, that you're not insecure, and that you got a backbone and you're going to stand up and you're going to be that man. And I don't mind saying, take my hand, let me go with you. Where we going? We don't mind doing that. But we have to know when we're weak, when we're strong, not feeling insecure, whether it be the man or it be the woman, and us not dogging one another, or us not taking the word and twisting it for our own good. Just stand up in your own strength. See, you can't, why would you be intimidated by me? I like being soft. I like being feminine. I don't want to be masculine. No matter if I make $150,000 and you make $75,000, I was okay with that in the beginning. So we'll make it work. It's not going to make me think you're any weaker than I am. As long as you stand up and take care of your business, I always got your back. But we have to be honest. We have to ask the tough questions in the beginning so that we're not having these discussions in the end. And now we're mad about what we didn't talk about. And we can now kind of live in that harmony and that balance, and each person step up to the plate in what's expected of them. And sometimes what's not expected of you. Sometimes we may not know what, is expected of us, what we're looking for. But I know that the man knows that I was made out of his rib. He lost something and he went into a deep sleep, but it was replaced with me. And I came as a helpmeet to strengthen him and for us to become one. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And that's how we become one. And that's how we operate and not allow outside forces to start getting in our head and telling us, man, you're not supposed to be doing this. Woman, you're not supposed to be doing that. We are operating in our household. As long as we know the order, God, family, the children, we know how it goes. And so as long as I know that, we're always going to be in sync. We may fall off sometimes, but we need to know that you're not intimidated by me as a man, and I need to not try and be so masculine, because it's things that we don't want to do. If we're honest, it's some things we don't want to do. So why are you standing up screaming and yelling and hollering about you can't do this for me, you can't do that for me, but then when you get home and you laying in the bed by yourself, or when it's cold outside and you got to clean your own car off, it's just certain things I would really like for a man to do for me. But I also want to know that I can step up and help you in your moments when you just may not be able to do it. And it might not have anything to do with finances. It could be illness. It could just be having a bad day. It could be whatever it is when you're beat down by everything that's going on in the world. And we know the climate of the world right now really does beat our men down. And so I want to be able to build you up. I want to make sure that I got you, and that if I come in the house and that I'm not able to stand up, you are still going to step up and say, you hungry? You want to order out? You want me to cook you something? Whatever it is. I saw the roles reverse with my parents, and that really taught me something, that my father was never intimidated by my mother, nor was he upset when she got sick and he had to step up and take over some of the roles that she played, and he was okay with it because she always had his back. And so it's all about who you show yourself to be to one another. Are we willing to balance? Are we willing to get harmony? Are we willing to not allow other people to define our relationship? We can't worry about what other people think about us, because guess what? When the doors close, we have to deal with one another. So that means we define our love. We define our relationship. We set the blueprint for us, and we follow that, and then we tweak it And we make adjustments as we go along, because we certainly should be growing as we continue to move along. We should be growing in our relationships. We should be making sure that we're making those adjustments and like I said in my first video, are we okay? Am I stepping up to the game? That should definitely be a man's question to the woman. And then if she thinks, if you detect something wrong, that's how you continue to just oil the squeaky wheel and to do those tune-ups and do that and change that oil and make sure that we're fresh in our relationship. And when we have those moments when we don't like each other, it won't break us, because we still love each other, because there's going to be something in your head that's going to remember the strength of that woman, the strength of that man, the rib that was created and designed just for you. And because we definitely are designed for that person, right? When we're with them and we know it and we can feel it. So you sometimes have to dig back to the strength of that woman, the strength of that man, the things that they provided for us at our lowest, at our very lowest moment, when nobody else wanted to be even halfway or remotely bothered with us. So as women, I say, don't come as his helpmeet in a masculine manner. Be that fly, fine, really feminine woman that he's looking for. But when you gotta, woman up, get that, get your old Koya on, then you come with it and you step up to the plate. And that means when other people see you, they're gonna be like, yeah, I ain't even about to step up to him, because I already know she there. And, he done already told me. See, that's how we do. We set up those parameters in our relationship, and it creates borders and it creates boundaries for other people. And we've already created that strength and that power within us. So I just want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to make sure that, and again, I apologize for the lateness, but technology was not working in my favor. But thank you for still tuning in. And the name of this is episode 6. Make sure you share it with someone. There's always someone looking for, what is that one missing component that I'm missing? And it could be the fact that being too masculine as a woman. I don't believe in submission. Submission is just really being his helpmeet and stepping up to the game. We submit and don't even know we are, but we just afraid of the word. And for him, it's about being secure in his manhood and who he is, and not being afraid to say, babe, I need you today. I just cannot do this by myself. How sexy is that? What is going on in our house that night? Because we were able to step up to one another. We were able to share with one another our most vulnerable moments when we were weak and we needed our rib to step in and help us. Thank you all so much. Have an absolutely amazing evening. Make sure you share, like, comment, and give me your thoughts and your feedback on this. And I'll see you guys next week for episode 7. Bye-bye.